everybody. Welcome to NBA Juice, the inaugural podcast of the NBA Juice Cast. So it's sponsored by PropJuice. I'm Steve Shellman. I'm the founder of PropJuice. And today we're going to look at a couple of the NBA Cup games tonight. And I thought I'd start walking you through every Tuesday and Friday on this podcast, just the juice in the association, the juiciest bets in the association, I guess, if you will. Thinking about both game outcomes and both player props. So tonight's action's pretty awesome, man. We got we got 9 games on the slate. We got I've got to sort it by money line right here. If we want to sort them by this is the projection in terms of the biggest money line winners, the top favorites here. We got the Wolves, followed by the Magic, and then the Pistons, the Rockets, the Knicks. We have the Spurs actually beating Golden State tonight, not getting that sweep for Golden State. We got the Bucks over the Hornets. We got a little bit of an upset in terms of Dallas beating the Clippers tonight. And then we got the Lakers coming back off that just dismal performance against the Thunder, shining again. So we'll talk a little bit about player props in that game as well. Let's dive into the biggest game of the night, I think, which is Portland and Houston. I mean, I think this is going to be a great game, right? Everybody's playing well on these teams. I mean, you've got let's just look at the top points getters up here. We got Denny. I mean, he's been on fire lately. I think he scores between 20 and 25 every night. If we want to quickly look at his player prop, you can see that he is just above his line all the time. So let's see, he had 33, 27, and 32 in the last 3 games. And only one time did he go below 20. So I think 20 to 25 is a safe bet on Avi tonight, man. I also got that paired with Shaedon Sharpe. So Shaedon Sharpe has been really on the uptick here. If you look at his actuals, I mean, he's done 21 and 31 and 35. Now, I don't think he's going to 40 or anything, but I don't think he's going to go down below 20 in this game, that we have tonight against the Houston Rockets, because I just think it's going to be a really good competitive game. Let's hope so anyway. Can always be a stinker, right? But we got the Rockets winning this game with a 64% probability. That's a little bit down from the book implied probability. So if you want to look at the spread down here, we actually have the Blazers covering this game. So you could back this off to 10.5 maybe if you wanted a wide spread on a parlay, but I took 7.5. We got 119, 116, 109, 104 game, a 121, 115 game, and a 116, 112 game. So all of them, the Rockets win the game. So again, you could go with that money line, which isn't probably worth a lot of money at market implied probability of 74. But you could take maybe a minus 2 or 3 if you didn't think these spreads were large enough or too small. You could take a minus 2 or 3, or you could play this Blazers cover. I mean, we're showing the cover. Our covers have been doing pretty well. We're about 75% on the spreads, and we're 75% on the money lines. All right. So so that's that game, Houston, Portland. In terms of player props, let's just go into the NBA props and show you what we got cooking. I was looking at Giannis earlier. So if we just wanted to select this game, you can just start typing the matchup, and then you can select that matchup. And then that's going to give you all the bets for that game in the props in terms of props. I've got points, rebounds, assists selected. I'm going to add threes here, and I'm going to just look at overs. Now, Sharpe, again, he's like I showed you, he's been on those heaters. He got 76% probability of going over 20. If you wanted to do a little parlay where you take him down to, like, let's say 18, over 17.5 is somewhere around 81% probable. And then you could go to take Denny. You could take him down to 20, and he's 94% to score 20. And then you could take Amen at like 15. That's 80% to cover, 78% to cover. You could take Shepherd at 10. You could take him down to 8. That gives you 82%. You could take Eason down to 8. That gives you an 80%. So again, if you want to stack 80s, right? And maybe lay 25, $50, $100. I don't know what your preference is in terms of units, but you could lay larger values by taking them down a little bit, or you can simply bet 78, 79% probability to go over 25. I mean, he's been on a roll lately. Never know when he's going to come off it though. That's the scary part, right? Şengün, he's got predicted to go over 10 rebounds tonight. So you could put him in for a double double because I think I got him for 20 points as well. It's easier to go to Şengün and then click on Şengün and then show you all his props. Now I got all overs here. So if you go to all picks, it'll list all 6 of his props. So he's under steals and over on assists, under on blocks. He's under on blocks and steals, but over on threes, over on assists, over on points, and over on rebounds. You could put a little Şengün parlay together. You could put like a Jokic, triple together. You could bet on his points, rebounds, and assists. I don't know what the line is tonight, but you could say like 10 boards, or he's actually projected to have 12. 20 points, what's that, 30, and 7 assists, 37. So you go over 35 points, rebounds, and assists. If you think that, of these 3, he's likely to go over by, the 12 on the rebounds, or maybe have 22 points, or have 8 assists, then you could take that up to 40. So that's something to think about in terms of Şengün. He's always dishing out the assists, getting some rebounds, and scoring some points. Let's take this back to overs. Let's get rid of Şengün. Let's go back to this game. And then let's take a look at Jeremy Grant. Actually, I wanted to look at his points. So let's look at Jeremy Grant's points. That's his steals. See? Okay, so he's not going to go over his points because he got over-selected. So if we go to all picks and we look at his points, we got him right around 15. So the probability of him going under 17 or 16 and a half is higher than him going over. If we reverse this to over and take him down to 15, then it's right at 50-50. So I think I got him in at 12. But, this could be low because, he didn't play as many minutes in the last game. He only played 7 minutes and he only had 2 points. And so, his projections being reduced by this game. So I think you could probably take him up 12 or 15 if you're not concerned about this. He is not on the injury report. Shaedon Sharpe is day to day, but I think I saw probable earlier on the NBA official report. So we can actually look that up right now. So I know that Cade is questionable. Bam's out as usual. Banchero's out. That's one who's out for the Magic. So Franz Wagner probably going to have a good game. Let's see. No notes on the Nets there of note. Ware's available for the Miami Knicks game. And then I got him in for some points tonight as well. Jalen Brunson's out, as we know, with the injury. Nobody else is out, so you could maybe have a good edge comes questionable for the Sixers. But in terms of that Knicks game, you might want to we'll look a little bit at Cat and Anobi and see and Bridges and see if they're going to go off tonight. Maybe because Brunson's out. LaMelo Ball's probable to play. I saw also see Brandon Miller. Yes, he's out. He's been out. Giannis is probable. And let's see. LeBron actually has been practicing with the G League. They're saying he might make his debut next week. So I have to keep an eye out for that. Maybe we'll have a little Tuesday LeBron cast next week on NBA Juice. Zion's out as normal. Let's see. So I think this Laker game, hopefully, Luca and Reeves come back with a prowess and a revenge about how they played last game against the Thunder and show out. So I don't really see too many major injuries other than Banchero is probably the biggest name out that we didn't necessarily know was going to be out. Everybody else was kind of let's see, Anthony Davis is questionable. I mean, he's been questionable though for a while. Flag is available. I got him in for 15 tonight. PJ Washington's questionable. Kaminga's out. Champagny is questionable. I actually have him in for something tonight. I need to maybe look at that. Uh, and that's tomorrow. Okay, so that pretty much takes you through the injuries. Not a whole lot of injuries to be concerned about, so that's a good thing, I think. In terms of what we can expect in terms of play tonight. So let's take a look at another game. Let's go back to the NBA games and let's take a look at the Orlando game. Now, so we got Orlando winning this game, right? And they're playing the Brooklyn Nets, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. The Nets are really defensively horrible. We don't have Banchero in the lineup. He's out. So I expect that for Wagner to go off tonight. So if we want to look at his points number, we got him going under this number tonight, but I just don't see it happening, right? Because he's going to be the main offensive scorer, him and Bane. So I see, to be safe, I'm taking him over 20. And then I'm also going to take Bane over like 18 or something like that. So let's go back to points. Let's see. Oh, I got Claxton over 2. Oh, there's Bane. Where was he? Show off 54 points. There he is, Desmond Bane. So I got him going over 19. He's been on the uptick. People think about him as a 3-point shooter, but the other night he had the mid-range going a little bit too. So I took him down to like 18, I think. I got him at 18 and Wagner at 20 in this game, along with let's go back to the props. There we go. Along with, see who else do I have in here? Oh, Michael Porter Jr. So he's been playing really well for the Nets. I mean, in terms of being able to score points. So he's got a 61% probability over 22. I got him at like 18, 20. Wagner at 20, 22 if they gave me 22. And then I got Bane at like 18. He's been really shooting really well lately. The last couple games he's had on this uptick. He's been down here and he kind of played poorly, but I think this is like he's starting. Plus, with no Banchero tonight, he's going to be one of the only options. So I think he's got no choice but to go over, especially if they want to beat the Nets. So Suggs has been playing well. I got him as an under. Carter. I think I got Carter in at like 10. He's had a really good late kind of streak. He's been right around this. His lowest point total in the last 5 games is like 12. So if you put him in at 10, I mean his line's 13, right? If you put him in at 10 with everybody else, that's a nice little 4 or 5 leg parlay depending on who you play here. You could tag it with an Orlando Magic money line or maybe a -2.5 spread or something like that if you wanted to add the money line. Let's take a look at the Charlotte game. So Canuples, man, he's been playing pretty well lately. He's been averaging 15, I would say. So we take a look at his points distribution tonight. Of course, my internet's acting up here. It doesn't want to give me that. Come on. What's going on here? There we go. Okay. He's been really on a streak, right? So 1, 2, 3, last 5 games, he's been over this line every time. So last game, his actual was 16. And then before that was 19 and then 30. So he had a big 30-point game and then came down from that, but he didn't go below his floor, right? So at this point in time, he went below his floor, but that's the only time he did. So if you think about this as a trend, right? If you look at this trend chart in terms of this green line here, this prediction, man, we've been predicting pretty decently here, the mean here, and I think he's going to be above. So I like Con tonight for 15. Let's see if we want to relegate it to this game, we can look at. Let's see. Trey Mann's supposed to have over 6. Oh, sorry. LaMelo Ball is supposed to have over 6 boards. Trey Mann's supposed to go over 10 or 11 rather. Gary Trent Jr.'s got an under with a 71% chance. Ryan Rollins, he's been playing great. He's got a 66% chance to go over 15, so you could put him at over 15. Bridges has been playing really good too. Um, and AJ Green, he's kind of in and out. We have him going under. He could hit one more 3-pointer though and get to 9, right? Three threes. He's a little bit chance. He's been a little bit risky lately. He was kind of up and down. Yeah, see, we were playing him a little bit here because he was up and over, and then he went down like 3 games in a row and then had an over. So he's a little bit inconsistent. I don't think I'm going to take a bet on him tonight. LaMelo's coming back off after being on injury, so I don't think I'm going to take a bet on him tonight either. Ryan Rollins, I'm going to put him in though, and I'm going to put in maybe Miles Turner. Miles Turner's been playing good, but I don't know if he's been playing well because they've had Giannis out, right? So if you just want to go to projection and look at the biggest projection, we got Giannis up here. We got him barely going over this line, so we've got a 50% for him to go over. So I got him in at 25, on a parlay. He is day to day though. But I think he's probably going to play is what the news is from what I've been seeing and what we saw in the injury report that we just pulled up. So I got him and Ryan Rollins together with Canuples, and I might have Trey or I might have Turner in here. So here's Turner. He's been playing well the last 5 games. Giannis has been in and out too, so it's not like Giannis has been out of all these games. So initially, he took a little bit to get started. I don't think he knew how he fit in. He was kind of coming off the bench for Giannis only, really, and now he's been mixed in a little bit more into the lineup, and you can see the last 4 or 5 games he's been doing well. I mean, 23, 13, 14, 21. So chance he goes over 14 tonight. Our probability says 67%. And I got Diabate in here too for something. I think I got him in here for boards or rebounds. Let's see, where was he at? Yeah, points. He's going over 10. He's been playing really well too. So he's been actually he's been under. Okay. All right, he's been under. So I wouldn't play him either. I don't think I have him for points. Maybe I got him for rebounds. I have him in for rebounds. No, he's under on rebounds too. Maybe I played him last night for something or 2 nights ago. Okay. Cade. Let's look at Cade. So he's questionable, right? But I think he's going to go based on what I've seen. It's a really good game tonight in terms of, Philly at Detroit with Maxey and those young guys playing well, Edgecombe, and then we had Grimes starting to play really well lately. He's been on a bit of a heater. So you're going to have, Cade Cunningham and Jaylen Duran, hopefully if they both play, going up against that Philly kind of Maxey-led team with Grimes and Edgecombe and Oubre kind of playing out of their mind a little bit. I mean, I think they're averaging like somewhere between 15 and 20, all of them. You don't necessarily know which one's going to get 20 each night, but one of them typically goes off. So Cunningham, we got going over too. I mean, he's only had 1 game in the last, 7 or 8 games where he's been under 25. He's 26, where he's been under 28. So I got him in at 25, and I'm playing him at 20 on some longer leg parlays. And then if you go to, let's go to the game here and let's check out all the guys here. So you got Edgecombe under, Duran over, Drummond over, Grimes over, Oubre over, and Maxey over. Now, Maxey over 30, he's been playing great lately. It's only a 52% probability, so I dropped him back down to 25. Last game, he only had 21, so that's a little bit nerve-wracking. But usually when he goes low here, when he has a 26 or a 26, he goes back up, right? And he comes back down, he has 27, he goes back up. So hopefully this is a low point. The only thing I worry about with Maxey is when they throw the double teams at him, right? They just throw that, at the top of the key, they just rush him, right? And then he gets rid of the ball, and then he can't score. So it's not a bad thing for the team because then that's what I said. You got Grimes and Edgecombe and Oubre. So if you're going to let them beat you, if that's what your strategy is, then Maxey typically doesn't get a whole lot of points in terms of if that's the strategy to just basically rush him with two defenders and double team him a lot. But he's been pretty good this year at being able to get out of that, attack that, play off ball, come off screens, get catch and shoots. And then of course he's just dynamic, man, when he goes to the glass, when he goes to the bucket. So he's only had two under games in the last 5 games, and he hasn't had under 25 in any of these, but this last one. So I think he's probably due for at least 25 tonight. So I think I got him in for 25. We'll go back to this game. Edgecombe is going under, but probably not by much. He hasn't not had a good game lately, like in terms of like a really good one. He was really came out of the gate. Like he had a great October. I mean, you can see, 15 and 26 and 14 and 17 and 16. And then he kind of hits a slump, 12, 7, 11, 11 and 6. Now, I'm not necessarily a slump because if you look at his other stats, he's going over on rebounds, so he's doing well on his rebounding, and then he's going he's under on assists, and under on three. So you just don't know if he's going to come back and start playing 15 to 20 ball, or if he's going to be at that 10 to 15 and let these other guys like Grimes and Oubre, get at it. Let's put in Oubre here, because I thought I had him in for 15. Yeah, I got him over 15 here. So I think I put him in down to 12 on a parlay, which is a 70% chance. And the last 2 games, he's been under at 13 and 12. That's why I dropped him down to 12, because the last 2 games, he's cleared 12. So I got him at 12. I got Maxey at 25. I've got, let's see. Sorry, Philadelphia game. I got Maxey at 25, and then I got Grimes at like 14 or 12, depending on what those lines are. I might have put him at 15 because he's got 53% chance to go over 15. Oubre, 50. I basically take it down. If I'm building a parlay, I'll take a rung down off their totals to try to win that bet with a higher probability. So I would take Grimes down to 14 or 12, Kelly Oubre down to 14 or 12, Maxey down to 25, Duran down to 18, Cade down to 25. That's a nice little 5-6 leg parlay. Probably pay decent money. You could also put Cade on there. Put Cade on there for 25. So yeah, I think this is going to be a good game. I do have, or the AI, I should say, has Detroit winning this game, but Philly covering plus 5.5. So it should be a tight game. I'm hoping it's going to be a tight game. We always like tight games, and hoping it's going to be a good one. Okay, so those were the 2 biggest games on the menu tonight. I think the Lakers take care of business against the Pelicans. I mean, this says the Pelicans cover by 9.5. I don't think so, man. I got the Lakers minus 5.5, and then I got Reeves. I got Reeves and Dončić going over 20 and 25, respectively. So we have him under 34, but that's probably because he had that stinker game, right? He only had 19 in that Thunder game. And so if you put him right at 30, he's got a 50-50 probability, and he's been averaging 40. And then he had that 20 game. So I think that's why we get this 50-50 on 30. You might take advantage of that 34 line and think he's going to go over after that stinker. Plus he sat at the end of that game. So I think they're going to be ready to come out for blood personally after that game. I hope they are, and I would want to be. We also got Austin Reeves under 25. Again, not a great game last game. So, influenced by this game right here where he only scored 13. But I think he gets 20 tonight. His line is at 25. I don't know if he gets 25 because, again, they could blow out the Pelicans in the fourth quarter, and both of them are sitting, which is always a possibility, which is what happened in that Thunder game. They sat, right? 13 and 19, man. So, yeah, but I got them in. And then I think Ayton's got a good probability tonight for going over. So yeah, he's got a 60% to go over 14. So you could take him down to 10 or 12 on that Austin Reeves Luca Dončić parlay. And if you want to add in a Pelicans player, I would say Sadique Bey is probably your best bet. He's 70% to go over 15 tonight. He's had the last two games, he's gone over this number. He had a slow start, and he's kind of had this positive trajectory over the last 5 games, with only one game being under this line. So again, you could dial him back to 12. Let's see, what's 12? 12 is like a 78, 80% probability in there somewhere. So yeah, the Lakers, I think they win tonight. I think Dončić has a good game. I think he might have a triple double. I mean, let's look at rebounds and assists for him. It's probably just easier to choose him and then just look at all his props. So we've got him going over assists, under boards, over steals, under blocks, under threes, and under points. I think he gets 25 to 30 points. I think he probably has 6 or 7 assists, especially if the Pelicans try to defend him to make him not beat them. So I think he has 6 or 7 assists. And then probably, I'd probably give him 6 boards, 5 or 6 boards. He's always pretty active on the boards. Change that to over, take him down to 5.5. That's 65%. If you like all 70%, take him down to 4.5, right? If you just want to pad his line a little bit. All right, so what else do we got cooking here? Last, let's look at this Golden State game. Actually, we'll look at the Dallas game last because we're predicting an upset and I'm not sure what to make of it. So we got the consensus here for the Spurs that they're going to win this game. So they just lost to Golden State. I got the Wizards covering. I actually expanded this cover back to 10 because I think the Spurs are actually going to beat them by 6, 7, 8, 9 points tonight. And it could even get ugly late, right? When Wembanyama, I mean, he's just so inconsistent. I want to look at his blocks. I want to look at his points. So we got him going under. I mean, this guy should score 30 every night, right? And he came out of the gate hot, and he had a good October. Like, here's the end of October, 29 and 31 and 24. So that's a little bit of a stinker. And then 27. And then he goes down to 9. I mean, what is that? Like, nobody should have 9. That's like Dončić having 19 the other night. And then he he rectified himself, came up a little bit with 20, and he's kind of been on this 20 streak, man. So is he turning into a Jokic where he's going to pass the ball and rebound more? Let's look at that. Got him going under 12 rebounds, but he'll probably have, they've got him 60% going over 10 though, right? Okay. And he's, and during this course of 20, so let's see, when is this? 11-3, 11-6, and 11-8. He had 8 boards. So 3, 6, and 8. Did he score more on 3, 6, and 8? So on 3, 6, and 8. No, he just had 3 bad games, right? I was hoping he had scored more then, but he just had 3 bad games. So I mean, I just don't know. He's just inconsistent for me, for being such a talented guy, to bet on anyway. So I mean, here he is down at 20, and then he had 38. Yeah, that's Wemby. That's the Wemby I know. And then he had 31. That's the Wemby I know. Is he going to do it again tonight? I don't know. I mean, we got him going under, just because. The way that this looks, he goes up, he goes down, he goes up, he goes back up, comes back down. So, a little bit of inconsistency here on his points. I think you could probably take him at 20. I mean, that's a pretty good probability, 70% probability. I mean, if you take him anything lower, that's not even worth the juice that you're going to get, even on a parlay. So 20 is about the lowest I would take him. If you think he's going to have a go off night like he did, the last 2 games though, and he's on an upward trajectory, then he's probably going to go over this number, right? So, okay. Let's look at somebody else in that game. Let's look at Fox. He had his debut recently. He's had a couple of games to play. We got him going over 20 points. And then I wasn't sure how to bet Fox entering the lineup, and then how that changes Castle and Vassell and the rest of the lineup, man, Champagny and everybody else, right, when he gets introduced into the game. How does that change like the ratio of points and rebounds and assists for everybody else? So I've waited for it to clear a little bit. We got a couple of game action. We got 3 games here. So he had 24 on his debut. He had 21 the next night, and then the other night he did not have much. So he only had 13. So I think he's probably going to go back up. I don't know if he's going to have 20, but maybe 15. His minutes have climbed a little bit. So in the opener, his debut, he only played 31 minutes, but then he played 37 and like 36. So I think he'll get, 35, 37 minutes tonight, and be able to put up, 18 maybe, 18, 15, 18. So yeah, that's what we got for him. And then we got Castle. We got him going over. We got a 60% chance of him going over 16. You can dial that back to 15, get a 71% chance there. But he's been he's been on or over the last 3 times. So if you want to dial that back to 14, right? Then that's like an 80% probability, and that's the lowest he's had. So that's a pretty good safe bet right there. And then let's check out Vassell. We got him going under. I think he's, typically as Fox has come in, he's gone under. I guess he's had 2 decent games in a not so good game. But we have him under tonight, so I'm not going to really take him because you just never know on that. And Butler, we got going under 18. He's been kind of inconsistent. He's kind of all over the place here. I think, he had a good game last game. So what does that mean? He had three or 4 good games, and then he had this stinker, and then he had some mid-range games, and then he had a great game. So I don't know. Is he back to mid-range? Is he back to stinker? It's tough. Harrison Barnes, we got him going over 10 tonight. He's been pretty consistent. Oh, actually, no. Okay. He had this one game bad. Okay, so he's been up here, had one bad game, came back up. So we're expecting him to be around 10, 12 points or so when it's all said and done. So yeah, that's what we got for the Spurs tonight. Let's see. If you want to look at, these are our biggest projections. So in terms of point scores, let's just look at our top point scores here tonight. We got I want overs and I want points. Yeah, and top projection. So Cade, we got projected at 34, 68% probability going over 29. We got Giannis projected at 32 with a 50% probability of going over 33, just because 32.6 is actually under 32.5. Or right there at it. It's actually over, right? But just barely. So that's a 50% probability. You've got Denny, though, over 25. That's a pretty strong probability. I showed you that earlier. Tyrese Maxey. So I would take 25, 25 or 30, 20, 25. He's got 70%. He's got 80% going 25. 25, again, I've said this a few times. Norman Powell, maybe 20. If you want to look at top probabilities here, go in here and top probabilities for points. Avi, Canuple, Achimura, Sharp, Claxton, and Richard give us our top probabilities of people going over. So if you just want to take 6 overs based on the PropJuice models, you might take these 6, right? You might throw in 7, 8, and McDaniels actually 68% probability going over 16. Cunningham has got that 68% probability going over 29. So yeah, so you could either take a rung down off 9 or 10 of these really high probabilities to get into that 70 and maybe even 80 range at some of these top guys, and then put like a 6 to 10 legger. That's what I've been doing. We've been cashing pretty good. Last night, we did not cash one of these. It was like the only night in the last maybe 5 or 6 nights we haven't cashed something from the top. Another way to do this is to take points, rebounds, and assists. And to look at the top points, rebounds, and assist getters. So you got Castle, Grant, Wiggins all going over assists. You got Canupo going over rebounds, Avi going over points, Sexton going over assists, Bridges going over assists, Canupo going over points, Claxton going over assists, Sharp going over points. That's all the way down there, 76% probable based on our models. So, if you don't want to just do all points, you could take the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What's that? 10? Top 10 right here. You could take a rung down on each of these 10 and put $10 on it and see what happens. You could take all 10, put $10 on it and see if you can blow it out of the water. So I've been trying a few of these. Most of the ones that I take a rung down on cash. Some of the ones I don't. If I do two, I have a lot more luck. So if I take like these two and then these two and then like these two and then like these two and then like these two, and I do like 5-way two guy parlay, I'll hit half of them or more than half of them, which cancel out, what I lost, and I make some money, a return on investment. So that's another way to do this. And then make sure, after you really decide on somebody, you look at their graphics and look at the trends. So make sure that we don't have, where this guy has been all the way down here, and for some reason the model's got him predicted up here now, right? So this is pretty safe, right? He's been up above this line, even though he's doing this. He's up above this line with one miss, or a couple misses. 3 misses in the last 10. So this guy's 70%. Colin Sexton 70% over 4 assists. Again, take him down to 3 assists, and I don't think he's only missed 1 at 3. So take him down to 3 assists, 3 plus, and maybe you win that one. That's 80% on that. So yeah, just take a look into each of the players. And then I won a threes parlay the other night, which was kind of interesting. So I just kind of looked at this and sorted based on probability. And so, Wiggins has a chance to have 85% to shoot two. Barnes has an 80% to get 2. Sadique Bey has an 80% to get 2. Carter has an 80% to get 1. You can tell that Mike Cat. Look at these numbers too. Minus 240, minus 200. So the books think they're going to hit these too. Minus 168, minus 175. Eason over 2, minus 114. Rollins over 2, minus 188. So, you could put these, put 6 or 7, 8 guys on a threes parlay, mix and match them, do a round robin, that kind of a thing on a threes parlay. That's also been cashing pretty good. So, all right. So with that in mind, it's the NBA Cup. We got these 9 games on the slate tonight. We got the Lakers, the Bucks. I think the Knicks beat Miami without Bam Adebayo and without Brunson playing. I think Detroit takes care of Philly, but it's close. I think Houston takes care of Portland, but Portland probably is close to covering, if not covering. They're in that 10 range, but maybe in that 6, 7, 8 range. I think Minnesota takes care of Sacramento at home with Edwards. Let's go Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man. I think Orlando, even without Banchero, takes care of the Nets. And then I think the Spurs do not let the Warriors sweep them. So that's the predictions for the night. And we've shown you a bunch of player props. This is the NBA Juice. I'm Steve Shellman. I'm the founder of PropJuice. Go over to PropJuice. Sign up for a let me go to the sign up. Let me log out here. Sign up for your platinum level subscription. Get your tiers. Let me see if I can hit my tiers here. Get the tiers page here to show you what's going on. I gotta sign. And then, it's not gonna let me in. All right. So, there are 3 tiers in this program. The best tier shows you all the transparency that I've been kind of showing you tonight. Where you get the drill down of all the different models. You get the spread drill down. You get this table down here with score predictions and spread predictions, injury reports, right? You get these little probability projectors. So in the props, you can go over to the NBA props and I got to sign in again. You can go over to the NBA props and you get the trends, right, that I've shown you down here, and you can play with these probability projectors. Let me get a better distribution here. Let me get a unders only, or let me get all picks. We need points. Here we go. And let's get rid of Wendell Carter. So Andrew Wiggins, that's a 3. I don't want a 3. I want points or something. Yeah, with the distribution. So yeah, so you can play with this little probability projector. So you know that if you take over 10, you got 66% chance. But really in terms of points for Miles McBride, you got to get down in 4 and 5 before you start seeing green here, right? Green tells you that you got a 70, you get above a 66% probability, 60% probability here. And red tells you that you're kind of in that under 50%, and then yellow is in that 40 to 60%, where it's kind of like no man's land. So pay attention to the colors, pay attention to the probability distribution, check out these trends. I mean, he's way under. I might take his under tonight. So I encourage you guys to take a look at all the different options that you have, sort by difference, right? So we can go here, we can go to points, and we can sort by difference. I want to get rid of threes. And so you'll have the biggest differences at the top here in terms of the difference between what we're saying this guy's going to score and what the book is. So again, Canuple, we got a 21 projection on him versus the book at 16. We've got a 25 projection for Sharp versus 19. We got only a 28 projection for Luca Dončić. So again, is based on that last game where he had the stinkers. This is right around 30. So I'd either take the 25 or I'd take the 30 on him. Anthony Edwards, we got a 5 difference on him. We got a 23. So I don't think I'm taking him at 25 or 30. I'm taking him more at 20. Just keep in mind how these all play out. And how you can use this probability projector. I mean, you can take, if you want to try Avi at having a 30-point game, like what's the probability Avi has a 30-point game? He had 32 last game, and two games ago he had 33, and 5 games ago he had 33. So we give him a 55.5% chance to have a 30-point game tonight. So again, play with this probability projector and see where these cutoffs are and what you're comfortable with if you're betting straight or if you're betting on a parlay. All right. With that, we got the NBA Cup tonight. This is the NBA Juice. I'm pretty excited about, launching this new capability here. So hope that you guys will tune in and keep coming back on Tuesday and Friday. I'm going to do this little NBA preview of the games and the props every week. Pick out a few key matchups and a few key players and give you guys the insights on what's going on. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen. Make sure you go to PropJuice and sign up. PropJuice.ai.